Adulya, Abin, Sovel, Elsa, Dominic, Kshetra, Anthony, Devasena, switch on your videos. So which are the two subatomic particles that we learned?
Proton.
Yeah. Sovel, tell me.
Electron and proton.
Yeah, electron and proton. Who discovered electron, Anjali Priya?
J.J. Thomson.
Yeah, J.J. Thomson. Then who discovered proton, Gauri?
E. Goldstein.
Yeah, E. Goldstein. Then what is the charge of proton and electron? Gerlin?
Electron E minus and proton P plus.
Proton plus charge and electron negative charge, right?
Minus.
Yeah. Then what about the mass, Ashik?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the mass of proton and electron? Do you remember that one?
Ma'am,
Yeah, the mass of proton is considered as 1. The mass of electron is negligible. Okay. Then shall we move to the next topic?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, now we learned that the atoms consist of two subatomic particles, right? The electrons and protons. Now we are going to learn how these electrons and protons or the subatomic particles or the atoms consist of, or how a model of atom can be represented. Okay. So several scientists, they made several attempts to explain this model. So first we are going to learn the model, J.J. Thomson's model. Okay, J.J. Thomson's model of an atom. We completed from till this slide, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then J.J. Thomson, he was the first scientist to propose a model for the structure of an atom. J.J. Thomson, he was the first scientist to propose a model for the structure of an atom. He was also discovered what subatomic particle, which is that subatomic particle proposed by J.J. Thomson.
Electron.
Yeah, it's electron. Okay. And J.J. Thomson, he was the first scientist to propose a model for the structure of an atom. Then this J.J. Thomson's model. Okay. Do you like plum cakes or plum pudding?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. What's your favorite in this plum pudding? So, well, what's your favorite, plum or pudding? So, well, yeah, tell me. Pudding. Okay. Zerlin,
Yes.
what's your favorite?
Pudding.
Pudding. Minha,
Ma'am.
plum. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Adulya, what about you?
Pudding.
Pudding. Then Ashik. Okay, Elsa, tell me what's your favorite, plum or pudding?
Ma'am, did you call me?
Yeah, Ashik, tell me what's your favorite, plum or pudding? Huh? Nothing.
Nothing, ma'am.
Okay. What about Elsa?
Ma'am, pudding.
Pudding. Okay. So here J.J. Thomson, he also considered atom as a plum pudding. Okay. Atom as a plum pudding. And this protons. Okay. This protons is similar to that of a pudding. And these electrons are compared to that of the plums or the dry fruits that used in that pudding. Okay, that's the concept according to this J.J. Thomson's. So this J.J. Thomson's model, also known as plum pudding model. So the Thomson's model of an atom. Thomson proposed the model of an atom to be similar to that of a Christmas pudding, okay, or a plum pudding, plum cake. Thomson proposed the model of an atom to be similar to that of a Christmas pudding. So the electrons in sphere of positive charge, electrons in a sphere of positive charge, that is equal to dry fruits in a spherical Christmas pudding. So this dry fruits or the plum, it is similar to that of plum or the dry fruits that is combined with the electrons, and the whole pudding is considered as protons. Okay, clear? Thomson proposed the model of an atom to be similar to that of a Christmas pudding. Electrons in a sphere of positive charge that is similar to that of dry fruits in a spherical Christmas pudding. Clear? Is this concept clear for you? So, yeah, any doubt?
Ma'am, can you explain this once more?
Yeah, sure. Atom can be compared to that of a Christmas pudding or a plum cake or plum pudding. Okay, then this pudding of this plum pudding or the plum cake, it is considered as protons, and the dry fruits or the plums embedded in this plum pudding, that is equal to that of electrons. So the plum or dry fruits in a pudding, that is equal to electrons, and the pudding itself, it is similar to that of protons. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anjali Priya, can you read this once again?
Thomson's model of an atom.
Okay.
Thomson proposed the model of an atom to be similar to that of a Christmas pudding.
Yeah.
Electrons in a sphere of positive charge is equal to dry fruits in a spherical Christmas pudding.
Okay, clear. It's more clear from the image itself. The negative, that is the electrons, that is equal to plum, and this pudding, that is positive. That means it is equal to protons. Okay, shall I move to the next one? Yeah. Then we can also compare this atom with a watermelon. Okay, atom with a watermelon. That is the positive charge in the atom. The positive charge in the atom, that is similar to that of a red edible part of the watermelon. The positive charge, that is equal to red edible part of the watermelon, and the electrons are studded in the positively charged sphere like the seeds in the watermelon. Okay, these seeds are similar or compared to that of electrons, and the red edible part, that is compared to that of protons. Clear? The positive charge in the atom, that is the red edible part of the watermelon. Then the electrons are studded in the positively charged sphere like the seeds in the watermelon. Okay? Adulya?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please read these points.
A positive charge in the atom is spread over like the edible part of the watermelon.
Yeah.
The electrons are studded in the positively charged sphere like the seeds in watermelon.
Okay. Is this clear for you? Atom can be compared either with the Christmas pudding or with the watermelon. Okay. So by comparing with these two, Thomson proposed that, or the J.J. Thomson's atom model, it's proposed that an atom consists of a positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it. An atom consists of a positively charged sphere where the electrons are embedded in it. Okay. A positively charged sphere in which the electrons are embedded in it. Then the negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude. Equal in magnitude show the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. It means that the number of protons and number of electrons that becomes equal in the case of an atom. So the atom as a whole electrically neutral. If there are 4 protons is there will be 4 electrons. And the atom as a whole 4 plus 4 plus minus 4, that is equal to 0, right? So it is electrically neutral. That's the second point. The negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude, show the atom as a whole electrically neutral. Clear? Is this 2 points clear? Yeah? The first point is that an atom consists of a positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it. The second point is that the negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude, show the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. Okay, these are the main 2 postulates according to J.J. Thomson's atom model. Kshetra?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Can you please read these 2 points?
Thomson proposed that an atom consists of a positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it.
Okay.
The negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude, show the atom as a whole in electrically neutral.
Okay. So these are the main 2 points according to J.J. Thomson's atom model. Although Thomson's model explained that atoms are electrically neutral, the results of experiments carried out by other scientists could not be explained by this model. Okay. Thomson proposed that there will be equal number of protons and equal number of electrons, and the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. But later, certain scientists, they find out certain other experiments, and they find they could not explain their conclusion with this model. Okay. Although Thomson's model explained that atoms are electrically neutral, the results of experiments carried out by other scientists could not be explained by this model. So this is the first attempt, only just attempt to explain how this atom looks like, or which are the particles in the atom and how they are arranged. This is the first attempt by J.J. Thomson. Okay. So J.J. Thomson's atom model. Sania?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you understand from this J.J. Thomson's atom model? All of you switch on your videos. Yeah, tell me.
An atom consists of a positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it.
Okay, that's the first point. Atom consists of a positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it. Okay, then the second point.
The negative and positive charge are equal in magnitude, so the atom as a whole is electrically neutral.
Yeah, the number of protons and number of electrons, that is equal in magnitude, so the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. These are the main 2 points that is proposed by J.J. Thomson. Then Srihari?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can you tell me how this atom can be compared with that of a Christmas pudding? Okay, Christmas pudding. Tell me.
Ma'am, the electrons on the atoms are like the dry fruits on a Christmas pudding.
Okay, fine.
And the positive charge protons are the pudding.
Okay,
Are the
clear.
pudding.
Yeah. In this way, these electrons and protons arranged according to J.J. Thomson. Okay, Lakshmi,
Yes, ma'am.
can you explain this model of atom using a watermelon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
The positively charged in the atom
Yeah.
atom is spread over like the edible part of watermelon.
Okay.
The electrons are scattered in the positively charged sphere like the seeds in the watermelon.
Okay. The protons are compared with the red edible part of the watermelon and seeds are compared with the electrons. Okay, electrons of an atom. Clear? Is this clear for everyone? Any doubts? Huh?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I will show you one more video for more clarification. Just wait.
J.J. Thomson was the first to put forward a
Is this audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
model to explain the structure of an atom. In his model, Thomson compared an atom to a Christmas pudding. The electrons were like the raisins in the pudding, and the pudding itself was like the positively charged particles. This can also be explained through the example of a watermelon. The positive charge in the atom is spread all over like the red, fleshy part of the watermelon, while the electrons are embedded into the atoms like the seeds of the watermelon. The oppositely charged particles are held together by electrical force of attraction. Thomson concluded that an atom consists of a positively charged sphere with electrons set within the sphere. An atom is electrically neutral as the positive and negative charges within it are equal. As per Thomson's conclusion, the electrons were embedded in a sphere of positive charge. This conclusion, however, was incorrect. Thomson asserted that the positive charge spread through the atom held the negatively charged electrons due to electrical forces.
Is this clear? Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, shall I move to the next topic? Then the second atom model, it is proposed by Rutherford, okay? It is Rutherford's model of an atom. Ernest Rutherford, he proposed the second model of an atom, okay? For this Rutherford's model of an atom, he designed an experiment to know how the electrons are arranged within an atom. Rutherford designed an experiment to know how the electrons are arranged within an atom. According to J.J. Thomson, the positively charged sphere in which electrons are embedded in it. Let's see how this Rutherford's model of an atom and how these electrons are arranged within an atom. Okay, so the next model, Rutherford's model of an atom. For that, Rutherford designed an experiment to know how the electrons are arranged within an atom. In this experiment, fast-moving alpha particles were made to fall on a thin gold foil. So the fast-moving alpha particles. Before that, all of you please switch on your videos. Shania, Sowell, Abin, Kshetra, Dominic, Anthony, Maxi, Revu, Elsa, Basti, it's okay. Ahlam Fatima. Said Sadiq. Yeah, okay, Ahlam. Then Swadi. Okay. So in this experiment, fast moving alpha particles were made to fall on a thin gold foil. So here the alpha particles, fast moving alpha particles just made to fall on a thin gold foil. Okay, thin gold foil. He select gold foil because he wanted as thin a layer as possible. Okay, he wanted as thin a layer as possible. This gold foil was about 1000 atoms thick. Atoms are very small particle, right? So here this gold foil is, it's just 1000 atoms thick. So he select the gold foil because he wanted as thin as layer as possible. In the case of metals, we learned one property. Do you remember? Which is the property that
Malleability.
yeah, very good, malleability. So in the case of gold, it's a metal, so we can convert it into a thin form, right? That means it is malleable. So he select the gold foil because he wanted as thin a layer as possible, and this gold foil was about 1000 atoms thick. Okay, Dominic, are you there? Dominic, can you hear me? Said? Can you hear me? Elsa?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please repeat these points.
In this experiment, fast-moving alpha particles were made to fall on the thin gold foil.
Yeah.
Select gold foil because he wanted as thin a layer as possible. This
Yeah.
gold foil was about 100 atoms thick. 1000 atoms thick.
Yeah. So next we are going to learn about this alpha particles. Okay. This Rutherford selected gold foil and alpha particles, right? These alpha particles are doubly charged helium ions. Okay. Doubly charged helium ions. Since they have a mass of 4U. 4U means it atomic mass unit. They have a mass of 4U. The fast moving alpha particles have a considerable amount of energy. Okay. Alpha particles are doubly charged helium ions. Since they have a mass of 4U, the fast moving alpha particles have a considerable amount of energy. So this alpha particles, it is similar to that of a doubly charged helium ions. Okay. So these alpha particles are doubly charged helium ions. They have a mass of 4U and they are able to have a considerable amount of energy. Okay, that's about alpha particles. Anthony Maxi. Anthony Maxi. Sania.
Yes, ma'am.
Please repeat this point.
Alpha particles are doubly charged helium ions. Since they have a mass of 4U, the fast-moving alpha particles have a considerable amount of energy.
Yeah, considerable amount of energy. Then we are moving to that experiment. Experiment is that here, using this alpha particle emitter, in this image, using this alpha particle emitter, alpha particles are made to fall on this gold foil. That yellow particle, that is the gold foil, and there was a detecting screen to avoid the scattering of this alpha particles. Okay, and this alpha particles made to fall on a thin gold foil, and so there were certain expectations by Rutherford. The first expectation is that it was expected that the alpha particles would be deflected by the subatomic particles in the gold atoms. When the alpha particles comes to fall on a thin gold foil, he expected that alpha particles would be deflected. Deflected means change in its path. Okay. Of course, that is, it would be deflected by the subatomic particles in the gold atoms. There is every atom there is a subatomic particle according to J.J. Thomson, Goldstein, etc. Right? There will be protons and neutrons in every atom. So when this alpha particles comes into contact with this thin gold foil, he expected that this alpha particles would be deflected by the subatomic particles in the gold atoms. Since the alpha particles were much heavier than the protons, he did not expect to see, not last, it is large, okay, large deflections. Sorry. Since the alpha particles were much heavier than the protons, he did not expect to see large deflections. He think that alpha particles are heavier than the protons. So, he did not expect that there will be large deflection in the experiment. These two are the main expectations of the scientist Rutherford, okay? Then I will show you the video of this experiment in the next class, and then we can move to the conclusions, observations and conclusions, okay? So are you clear with these expectations? Yeah? Sean?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can you repeat these two expectations according to the scientist?
It was expected that alpha particles would be deflected by the subatomic particles in a gold atom.
Okay.
Since the alpha particles were much heavier than the protons, we did not expect to see large deflections.
It's large, not last, large deflections, okay? Sorry for the mistake. Large deflections. So these were the two expectations according to Rutherford. Then in the next class, we will see what happens or what is the observation in this gold foil experiment. Okay. Are you clear with today's topic?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, Srihari, can you tell me what is the experimental setup according to Rutherford in the gold foil experiment?
He experiment with fast moving alpha particles to make them fall on the thin sheet of gold.
Yeah, thin sheet of gold foil. Alpha particles were made to fall on a thin sheet of gold foil. Okay. Then what did you understand about this gold foil? Why did he select this gold foil? Geraldine, tell me. Okay, Srihari, that's enough. Geraldine, tell me.
Ernest Rutherford selected gold foil because he wanted a thin layer of gold.
Okay, fine. Thin layer of metal. He wants to select a thin layer of metal. That's why he selected gold foil. Then what about this alpha particles? Anjali Priya, tell me.
Alpha particles are doubly charged helium ion.
Yeah. Doubly charged helium ions. Then
they have a mass of
4U.
The fast moving alpha particles have a considerable amount of energy.
Yeah. Then the two expectations according to Rutherford is that? Adulya, can you please tell me?
It was expected alpha particles would be deflected by the subatomic particles in the gold atoms.
Yeah. Second expectation?
Since the alpha particles were much heavier than the protons, he did not expect to see large deflections.
Yeah, he did not expect to see large deflections. Okay. Then we will continue this topic in the next class. And please be ready for the revision part 2. Okay. Remaining portions of that chapter, and prepare well for your MCQ. Okay, all of you?
Okay.
Yeah. Then tell me, Amarin present? Yeah. Fagad absent. Then Gautam? No. Jesslyn? No. Joel, Karthik, Lakshmi Nanda, okay. Melita, Minha present, Revu present side, okay. Sania, Yashania, Sriram, Srihari present, Swadi absent, right? So Ananda Krishna, Fagad, Jesslyn, Joel, Karthik, Melita, Sriram absent. Okay, so thank you. See you all next class. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.